Hello, friends of Open Table. Welcome to another episode of Open Table Podcast. Today we'll be talking about a very interesting topic, a topic that I believe would resonate with every one of our viewers. Have you heard about black tax? Do you understand what it means? Today, I would want to start with asking the ladies what they understand about black. Is there anyone who wants to go first? Assess?
Black tax. What is black tax? Actually, from what I know, black tax has to do with when particularly immigrants, those in diaspora, are being taxed or billed, not official, not the government type of tax, from our opinion. I think it's like a bit of a slang that has been used to define when you have relatives or friends, families in diaspora, and people from your home country start asking you for money, start making requests and demands on you based on the fact that they believe that you are doing well off just because you are in a foreign country. So you earn in foreign currency and they think that you must be making the millions. Mm-hmm. So because of that, they start billing you and asking you for money and asking you for school fees and things like that. So that has been termed to be called black tax, particularly from those from Africa. Maybe that's why it's called black too.
Okay, Isa, do you?
Well, yes. So I totally agree with you, Sas. That's the definition of black tax. But in the US, just to add to that, when that term is used, is to describe more like subtle racism in the sense that the African Americans are expected to do double of whatever task just to get to a certain level. So maybe in the corporate world, other races get there in so and so months, but you, the black person, you are made to subtly work harder, or a lot more is demanded from you that is not demanded from someone else that is in the same level and the expectation. So they also use black tax. But for today, I know we are talking about the ones that deal with immigrants and the demands from the home country. Yeah.
But looking at it, talking about people back home asking immigrants for support, whether they don't even want to know if it's something you can do, or at times people do not even want to check on you to know how well you're doing, or maybe try to find out about your status before they bring this black tax. But is it limited to people in diaspora from your own experience, or while you were back home, are you being taxed, or does it happen when we move out of the homeland?
Okay, so now that I'm thinking about it, there's a form of it, but it's obviously not called black tax. But I remember back home and growing up as a child, my mom used to say something that when you move from your rural village to the city, there's that expectation that because the person has gone to somewhere more urban, they earn more. During Yuletide or festive season, where those that are living in the city, they come back home, there's a term they use. They say the people that went to the coast. So there's this expectation that you should come bearing gifts. So I think it's kind of an amplified version of that. Okay. When the person now moves overseas, there's that expectation that, okay, now you have all the money.
Where the
money tree is growing.
Well, for me, in the palace that we are using, especially for those in diaspora, because I think they experience it a little bit more because the expectation is so high. And many times you see that people might be struggling when they are even in diaspora. They just moved to a new country. For example, in this period where we have this Japa season. Japa means, I also follow what my friend and Isa used to say, I will interpret. So Japa actually means people being able to travel out of a country from maybe a situation of a kind of unpleasant environment, and they're able to leave that environment to somewhere better, in quotes. So that is what many people feel that those in diaspora are experiencing. They're moving to a better location, a better climb, better opportunities, better system. And because based on that, they now tend to expect you to automatically have so much money to give and share with them. And they start pouring all their expectation and needs, problems and wants on you. But is black tax really something, that situation, what do you think? Is it a good thing? Is it something that should really be encouraged, where people pour their burden and put their pressure on their family and friends or loved ones that have
I
traveled
would
to
want
diaspora?
to answer that your question. Before I answer it, I want to, because something just popped in my head. So if I don't know if you guys remember, but I think this happened mostly either in the 80s, entering the 90s, where there was the very first Jakba, like the very first exodus, where people like in large numbers moved away from the country. So that time I was living in Bendel, and in Bendel then you would hear that, and I don't mean this to slight any culture, but then you hear Osaro don't go Germany.
Don't go Spain.
You don't go Spain. You don't
Italy.
go Belgium.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, they started calling second-hand clothes Belgium. If you invented that, they call it Belgium. I'm sorry, my PD brothers. I love you all. But yes, they will call the cars Belgian cars, because he goes and then in 6 months, he's sending a car, he's sending stuff. So there was that impression that once you leave Nigeria and go overseas, you become an instant wealthy person. And then you start sending the goods home. And then there were the girls that were going to Italy and moving stuff and all that. So I think it all stemmed from that. Because I remember also as a child that there were some people in my community then that went to school, and they were not sending the monies that all these guys that went to Spain, to Belgium, were sending back home. And their parents were not happy. Well, oh, can't you see that this guy did this, can't you? So I think it kind of morphed from that. That's my own opinion. And then the second wind of exodus, which we call Jakba, is people going to the US, UK, Canada, and
all around the world.
all around the world. And I also think that we, the immigrants, we also do not help the people back home. We in this side of the world, we also do not help the plight of the people back home, because you come in here by no direct effort. I don't think it's done deliberately. Your skin tone changes because you are in a climate where it's not so sunny. So you take a picture, you look really fresh.
So how is that your fault?
No, that's why I said by no direct making
So
of
they
yours.
believe you.
And then some people, let's call it what it is. Our people like to do what they call pepper them gang. I will tell you what that means. It means you want to show off a bit that things are better. Speak for yourself.
I want to
Speak for
disagree
yourself,
with you.
because I know of somebody that deliberately was waiting for winter so that he can take winter pictures and send back home
you live
for
your
Pepe
life
Demka.
now. Even if you're back home
Speak
in
for
Nigeria,
yourself.
you still
So
live your
when you send things like that back home and you dress up and you're taking a picture in front of a limousine, the people back home think that, oh, this guy has all the money.
But are we saying people back home do not? I would want to even say people back home live more expensive life. As is just maybe the weather. Go to Lagos, the kind of party they have, we don't have it here. The kind of, there's no new thing that comes. There's no expensive thing, designer things that you that lives in that country would even think twice or need fancy to pay. Back home, they would drop cash. So for me, I think being Africans, we have this culture of taking up responsibilities. Either you are back home or you've jackpot. We have this, you need to take care of your parent. On some westernized countries, they don't, a child might even present flower on the birthday of the parent. The parents are not really expecting too much. But for us, children are more like investment. Other kids are more like investment. Cousins, like any rich person, any person that had gone ahead, you are expected to take off some responsibility, even from your parent or your relative or things like that. So even if you are back home, I want to believe the tax, we might not just have a thing for it. You still see some kind of uncles you need to sort. Some friends, even colleagues will ask you.
That's true.
How many of your colleagues since you came to Canada would come to you and say,
for money?
Give you, and people back home will ask you the tuition fee, like they need tuition fee support, they need feeding support.
Urgent.
I think to an extent, because you guys have been talking, I understand where Izo is coming from, but I don't totally agree with that, because if it's not whether you snap a picture, and how many people even actually do that? You just mentioned one person, so maybe 100 style, right? So I think that it's more of the sense of responsibility that our culture has placed on us and we were trained up with, which is a very good thing.
Yeah.
It has its positive and its negative sides. So the positive side is you have this sense of responsibility towards supporting others and just not being selfish. You want to give. But the negative aspect, which we will come to elaborate much later, is that if that becomes a burden on the person that you are asking to help from, because you might not be the only person asking for help from that person. Now, there's another two ways to it. Some people are very comfortable. They are so comfortably rich that even if 10 people come asking for help at the same time, they don't find it difficult giving, and it won't dip their pockets. Now, but this thing you gave an example of in those days where one person travel to Italy or Europe and is able to buy a car within 6 months, and then somebody else is there for 2 years and is just barely not doing as much as what they think he should be doing. Now, whether he likes it or not, there's that comparison. So that pressure and the expectation is now so much on people. And that is where the negative aspect comes in, where friends or family now start thinking you are too selfish, you are stingy because you are not sending money to them as frequently as they are demanding, whether they like. And my dear friend, even if people are doing parties, wearing designer wears and all, there is still that unconscious mentality of entitlement. You are in a foreign land, especially when they feel that the exchange rate is in your favor. When you compare, maybe taking Nigeria currency for now, compare dollar to naira, the difference is so wide that they feel that if you just send me maybe $50, that's close to almost over 50,000 naira probably. So they look like, what's that to you?
Yes.
So that now brings in entitlement mentality and that's greed. And in fact, some of them go as far as almost not appreciating the little you're able to give them. And that's where the pressure comes in and now looks like black tax. And that is the negative aspect.
But to add on the top of that, also there, depending on your family dynamics, there are some families that whoever came first to the abroad was like a community support. So the whole family gathered, they scraped and scrapped and did all, and then they sent. So they're expecting that, oh, you should get there and get cracking and start sending money back. So there's also that. But when we come to solutions, I will touch more.
So this idea of, there's this phrase that goes around, or should I say saying that they say, oh, UK people and UK people would never send more than 20K, feeling of entitlement.
20,000 naira.
They would never send more. Oh, I didn't know that.
You heard it before.
A lot of people in the UK, do they even know how they are managing or coping? You might think how much is 20, and what Osa said that people convert the exchange rate that how much is 20,000, that means about 20 pound or even less. But do you know how easy it is to make that? Like, for some people it's not so easy to make this money. So people believe, when you like, they are just basically calculating naira, exchanging naira to
whatever foreign currency.
So it also stems from the work ethics that happen in these different countries. Now, if I use your example, that 20K is probably, I don't know what the exchange rate is, but for that person in the UK to work that money, it's possible that person spent 2 hours
to make the money
of his lifetime to send you that money. So if I use Canada as an example, I think $1 Canadian exchange for about 1,000 plus now. So for me to send you $50, and assuming maybe my per hour is $15.
That means you've worked about 4 hours.
Yes.
Yeah, to be able to get that.
And when they say you are working,
that 4 hours,
it's not like back home where you say, oh, I'm coming, let me go and pick my child, or let me go to the market and buy 1 or 2 things, or let me do this right inside your 8-hour work. You can do all that. Actually, if you are working for the government or somewhere where they don't really keep a strong eye about your movement. But here, if you are working 4 hours, so if I spend 4 hours of my time to give to you in Nigeria, I might not understand it, because when I was in Nigeria, I used to have a lot of urgent 2K. People would just send you money for no reason. Because I don't know if it's that money is easier to find there. I gave one example
People
one time.
Give you money,
yes,
like they dash you money.
Yes, I used to get a lot of. So I remember, sorry, my darling, for my birthday, I just came to the office. It was a significant birthday, anyways, and post on social media. And somehow a friend of mine knew, senior friend. He said, "Oh, you are so," and the next thing, 100 came to my account. So it happens like
you
that.
get
People
to,
give you, but
money, but
because
not here.
I don't know if it's because the money comes easily or I don't know. But here, every dollar is hard earned. So giving it off so easily when there is all the demands here is also difficult.
That's a lot of, you make the money. There are a lot of other avenues that the money goes through. You
Exactly.
pay tax. Back home, car insurance is a yearly thing. You pay your car
Never
for that
paid
year.
car insurance back home.
Yeah, but here it's monthly. Before you know it, before you close it, I tell you it's 30 days already.
The bills never
everything,
stop.
Yeah, I never stop.
So I want to ask a question about this. What do we think is the impact of black tax? Before I talk about impact, why do you think people make these demands on their relatives or family members that have traveled? There are various reasons why, starting from maybe they know that you have the ability to do it to there's a real genuine reason. What do you think?
For me, I would say poverty and entitlement. Those are my two reasons.
I would say entitlement and also culture. That's the way we have. We are not raised from the part of the world. We are like you need to support people. People do not see asking you for money as maybe going out of their boundaries or thing. No, it's a way you support others. Others will support you. I think it's part of us. So
Is our helping people,
so
giving
when you
hands.
don't do it, that's when you now they now kind of see you as maybe a bad person, someone that is not willing to support others or help others.
But now, because I know there is responsibility to your family.
Right.
There's responsibility to your parents, your mom, your dad, your brother and sister, even though it's not like you owe them. Yes, but that's when there is a genuine need. You can't look at them being in need. There's no school fees, like your elder brother or your younger brother is struggling in life and is not able to, hurriedly pay school fees for one of the kids or the other, or is not able to pay rent at a particular time and reaches out for you to help. So I think it's still, the onus is on you, imperative, if you have ability to be able to support and give. That's what we are saying. So it's not like anybody here is against the giving, right?
Yeah.
However, where do you draw the line? Because sometimes it becomes more like a stress, like a pressure on something so unwilling that the person on the other side that is being taxed is struggling, because the other person, remember that person has also their own bills, their own problems, their own challenges they have to face. So where do you draw the line in this billing? If we say it's entitlement, yes, to an extent I agree. Sometimes it's entitlement mentality. This one is asking because they just feel you have it, not because of a genuine need. So where do you now draw the line, and how do you control this from suppressing you and drowning you? Because it can be drowning. I remember there was a situation where a friend asked somebody for money, and this other person explained that I don't have at this time. I don't have it at this time and it's not available. And the other person felt slighted. Oh, you are too selfish. You don't want to help. And we know you are okay. Just because, like you said, see pictures, nice pictures. You don't have to start beside the Rolls Royce or anything elegant. But once you are abroad and you just take a picture, even with a t-shirt and trousers like what I'm wearing, just so you are living the good life and now expect so much from you. And it has broken friendship and relationships because you've not helped the person. So where do you draw the line?
You want me to go first? So the thing is, for me, there are different stratas. So I would say this, my nuclear family, my extended family, that there has to be a justification for the need. Now, if you're talking about parents, already you should have an established, personally, this is my personal view, you should have an established stipend that you send to your parents regularly. And again, that's coming to that cultural thing where they are aged, you send something home to support them. Now, for your siblings, the same goes. But when I get a sense that you are doing this because you think that, oh, I'm a money-making machine, then I will draw the line. But if there's a genuine need, yes. Now, for friends and acquaintances, I know that by my own experience that sometimes it is abused, especially by people back home. and I'm trying to say this gently, where maybe you post something on Facebook and then somebody sends you a message that my car broke down. And I'm wondering to myself, why should I be the one to bear that burden?
Some people are running away
Or
from social
someone
media.
sends a message and says, my wife just had a baby. And I'm like, pregnancy gave you 9 months.
Notice.
So those are the ones that I would struggle. And my kind of person, if I want to say no, I say it. I won't tell you by God's grace. Now, like, I cannot help at this time, straight up. Because I think I'm being fair to you by telling you straight up that instead of me being vague and maybe not answering your calls, or I'll just say, I can't help you at this time, so that you can move on to whoever else you want to ask. So that's the way I separate it. I separate family, my parents, and then friends. And then I also would never go beyond, because my bills come first. And beyond my bills, I also have to save for the rainy day. So once I've done all of that, if there are extras, then I will, by all means, if I can. But that I would now go to the point where I am now affecting maybe the money I'm supposed to use to pay rent, use it and give somebody. That's also not very smart. So I would never do that.
What do you think, Okiki?
I think I absolutely agree with Izo. But at times, there are some situations that pushes you that you can't say no. That even if it's part of what you are saving for raining days, that immediate raining days might be something you want to attend to before the ones that you are planning towards. Yeah.
So the guy that says he can't
no, not people like that. Those are people. That's why most time when you see, like, when people send any friend request, someone that like you've not heard from
in 3 years, 4 years,
just because you posted on social media and they see you, maybe your cheek is the weight you are trying to lose, or you're even struggling. They do not even know that you might be abroad and drink gari, right? It doesn't mean because you're abroad you are eating burger or you are eating chicken all the time, and the next thing it's billing. And for people that you even hear some stories, people actually trying to maybe get married and they're planning elaborate wedding. Where's the place of just going to the registry? You can plan 10 years and
cut your coat according to your size.
Or people asking for unbelievable things like.
No, but people can come under the charade of they're asking for something legit.
Legit, yeah.
Because
someone asking for
I have gone through an experience where somebody said, now the person was in school. So the person said, oh, auntie, I'm in dire need of money, blah, blah, blah. And I thought maybe the person needed for tuition or whatever. And then I sent the money. And then a few weeks after, I see her that she's actually big girls.
She's actually
so obviously that month
we are in the same clothes with friends
or wedding color matching outfit.
Yes.
And in my head I'm like, I was like, maybe it's not my money, but I just couldn't shake the fact that
so you have
extra to do this thing when that came from a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah.
And so again, now this is where I would say that when you go through these experiences and you see this, now there might be the next person that really has a genuine need. And then you are like, I thought this not another, I should be money. And so those are the pros and cons of this.
I have a friend that told me a story. He said there was a lady he knows way back home at a church level and all that. And he's been supportive from time to time, maybe because of the relationship. He sends some money. Oh, please, I need support for this. And it's not like they are living from hand to mouth, but you just feel that they are not doing too well and support. But there was this particular period where his own family member needed support, which he now sent. And that was a big amount of money he had to give out to his family member. At the same time, this particular lady reached out and was like, oh, please, I need a particular amount, say, for example, 70,000 naira. And he was like, oh, I have to give to my sister, maybe relating to the child's school fees or something. And he gave that out and just said, let me just give something to this person. And she said, oh, she needed this, and it cost 70,000 naira. And he sent 50,000 to the lady and sent this money.
Yeah.
Do you know, immediately she received it, she now responded later, thank you, but actually I still did the 20,000 balance because it's not enough. Can you imagine the level of expression? And this is somebody that works so hard. People over in diaspora here, some people are keeping 3 jobs just to be able to put things together. Not only to meet, but to also make their life comfortable and to be able to balance their their bills and everything. He told me, said he was so upset, he was so angry. What is this entitlement? So, okay, I should give you all the money. So, do you mean the 20,000 difference? You
Can go.
track it, look for it somewhere else. In fact, he's just said, I'm going to block her out. So, all the benefits from before, previous, whatever, he's going to block her line. And I support her. I'm like, please block that line because you don't need that kind of pressure. You don't need that kind of level of anxiety in your life. So, people at home, friends of Open Table, if you are in diaspora or wherever you are, let's build our people small, even if you have family, because sometimes families also go to this level of entitlement. Oh, you're my brother. You can't look at me suffering. So I'm not suffering because, like you said, sometimes they are living good. The kind of things they do, you can't even do it because you are scrunching for your money, crunching for every penny, saving. But sometimes when you see the life they live, you'll be like, what are these guys are living big, you know?
So that's why also I think that, to the point I made earlier, if you came here off community support, that means your whole family had to piece things together to bring you here, the family should understand that they should give you time.
Yes.
Because not everybody comes here, especially if you came legit. You don't just...
And you're working legit.
Money does not grow on trees here. And the snow does not convert to dollars.
It converts to cold.
It converts to cold. So they should give grace for you to get yourself together. So families back home, please be understanding. We send, or they want to send, but because I see it like analogy of crabs in a basket. Because the person is barely there and you keep taking and keep taking. So that person cannot even make investments that can pull the family out of lack. Because every little money is circumvented into one thing or the other. And unfortunately, sometimes these monies are spent anyhow. Your money, when you get money easily, you spend it anyhow. Because the money comes easily, they don't know what effort and sacrifice the other person went through. So the person would say, oh, I kept the money here and somebody stole it. Or they spend it, I don't know the term to use, but they don't give the much attention to make sure that this money is hard and let's spend it for the things that are really necessary.
Or maybe invest it in a business that you don't have to now depend on that person.
Exactly. Keep sending. So that's even a better way. So brother sent this, let me invest it. Or they will just... I've heard stories where they send money, the person went and used it and buy a car and be forming big boy around town. And then when the car goes bad, I don't know why I'm using car only as my example, but when the car goes bad, you call the same brother for maintenance. When you could have used that money to start a small scale business and then the whole family grows. So it's a two-way thing.
To brother that is saying so.
So another thing now, we've talked about to the people in diaspora back home, how we're trying to show them a picture of how things are over there. Yeah. It's not all rosy many times. People struggle. Some people maintain 2-3 shifts, work night shifts, double shifts, just to make ends meet and everything. And because, well, exchange rate is in a bit of a favor, whatever little they send to you, appreciate it because they have a lot of bills to pay. Now, what is our advice to our own people in diaspora that are being billed? Because somebody like me now, I think I need some level of advice. I am happy for you, so like you're able to I don't have.
Yeah.
But there are some people like us that we are not able to close our eyes to those needs, or we are too emotional, or are we too good to want to I don't know how to say no. We find it difficult to say, maybe a bit of no. Maybe you give us some courage to be able to know how to say no.
I will go to scripture first. The Bible says, love your neighbor, not more than yourself, not less than yourself, as yourself. So for you to be able to keep doing and living here, you need a certain level of money to meet your regular daily needs. Once that has been established, you need to save for the rainy day. Because truth be told, if for any reason in the later years of our lives, one did not make the right decisions now, the same people will say, but you don't do that abroad since. Wait, you take your abroad to. So, I'm speaking pidgin, means you've been abroad for a long time. What did you use all your monies to do? So, bear that in mind when you attend attend to these things. Now, people that are my friends and my family, they know that by nature I'm a generous person. So when I say the no, it's not out of maliciousness or stinginess. Right now, it's not doable. And as a person, I'm never vague. I would not say by the grace of God when I know I'm not going to send to you. So I'll tell you, I'm sorry, I can't give you. I had to learn the hard way because I was this kind of person that I'd once given my whole salary to somebody because the person was in need. Pay me back now. This happened in Nigeria. So I had to learn. A friend of mine told me something once, and I'll tell it to you. Never loan money to people. He said, instead, he's a big shot, big guy. He said, instead of, because I think I remember back then in Nigeria when I was doing this Canada, I was angry, but I got the message later on. He said, I don't loan money to people. I will give them what I can forget.
And if they pay back, fine.
If they pay back, fine. If they don't pay back, fine. So that's his mantra. So I follow that. I don't loan money. I give what I can forget. I can forget. So if somebody comes to me and say, oh, this, that, I need this loan. I'll say, I don't have to loan, but I'll give you this as a support. You don't need to pay me back. So that's how I do it. That's separate from family. For family, it's a completely different conversation.
Yeah, for family, you might want to go above and beyond, especially when you know you're aware of the pressing need and all that. Because I've heard a story regarding about a lady who did what you are suggesting. Although we don't care, sometimes you shouldn't even care. You shouldn't bat an eye. Just do what you can do and close your eyes to any reaction you might get. Because somebody asked for, like, oh, I'm in need, I want to do something, and what the tone of what she needed money for was going to be like $1 million or more. And this other person was not able to give that amount and just felt, okay, this is a friend who has been there for me, even though I cannot give up to even 500 or anything, but let me send like 100,000 naira to the person. And she sent 100,000.
As a loan or as a gift?
As a gift.
Okay.
Like, okay, just to support you, right? But you know, the person responded like, oh no, this is not the amount I need. I actually need up to $1 million. The message connoted something like, oh, this is not even up to, you know, I'm not looking for this kind of money. I need real funds.
Did the person have that kind of money already?
I don't know what she had.
I
don't know what she had. You know, so you
look for
that's where people are weird sometimes.
It's like, is this money for tomatoes and pepper, or is it for whatever?
Now start looking for the,
you know, so you get all sorts of reaction at times that almost discourages you from wanting to give out, reach out and help and support. But well,
I like I said, I would, so because on Facebook, I'm on Facebook and I post pictures, not in front of a limousine anyways, but I post pictures. And because of that, I get a lot of Facebook messages come through to me. And I just politely, oh gosh. As a matter of fact, I don't even want to go into. One sent a picture, he was baited, they bait him in iodine. And I was like, I looked, I said, I work in the hospital. Nobody bandages somebody like that.
Is it an accident or what?
I was like, they don't bandage people like that.
Oh, okay.
And I have people that will take pictures. They are tying wrapper on their chest. Help me
to show they are so
they are so poor. And I'm like,
you need to tie wrapper and send pictures.
So the thing is, I give. It's not like I always say no, but I have to be. I would give off because. Sorry, I always keep bringing scriptures. God loves a cheerful giver. I don't want to give you and then I'm angry at the back and I'm cursing you. I'm saying, I don't know why I haven't given. You know, the blessing will not come.
Exactly.
So I have to give from a cheerful heart. And I have to know that after I've given this person, I have enough to attend to my immediate needs. Because you also don't want to be in a position that you've given up your money and then something happens to you. Now you're the one begging because you no longer have. So
I think in summary, the thing is, do what you can. Don't go beyond your ability. We're nowhere to draw the line so that you don't impoverish yourself all in the bid, because there are so many things you need to do too when you are starting your life all over again, especially when you move to a new country. You are starting from scratch. So this is just to let our viewers know that you are in control of your money. You should try and manage your life and manage your things, balance it out so that you are not selfish, and at the same time, you are not giving so much that you have no plan for your life and for your future, because you have to also plan for your future.
Totally.
And I believe with these 3 points of ours,
we've been able to convince you, not to confuse you,
that even though black tax is a thing, you should do it with a lot of wisdom. And do it with a lot of sense, and be smart and wise about how you go about it. If you are still in the ability to help, if you have the ability to help, have the financial capacity to give, to as many people as you can, give. But make sure that people are also using it for the right reason, so that they don't deceive you and become fraudulent with it.
Totally.
Yeah, thank you, ladies. It was really a nice discussion, and hope our friends, our viewers, really enjoyed this topic as much as we did. So I'll just want to have that, know when to draw the line, no boundaries, when you need to stop and say no. Like Izo said, learn to say no.
And a clear no. Don't say by God's
Not
grace.
by God's grace, learn to say no. So thank you. So if you've been following us, we'd love you to support us by subscribing, liking, and also dropping comments. Do you agree with us? I don't want to believe you all agree to everything we talk about on the show. We want you to discuss with us. Drop your comments. We would love to read from you and also hear from you. So thank you. That would be all for today. Thank you.
Bye.